Fantastic. So you're in Seoul right now.
I'm in Seoul, yes.
You just got back from LA. You were producing a series there?
Yes, we're producing a series in the US based on a Japanese novel.
The earlier one you talked about, I think it was a year and a half ago. Is this a new one?
I don't know. It could have been. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So we have multiple projects in the US. So.
Okay. So great. Let's get on to how is the Korean market as far as comics is concerned? What exactly is it like?
The Korean comic market has become, I would say, over 90% digital. And in Korea, we started using this terminology, webtoon. So if you talk to anybody, any youngsters in Korea walking down the street, do you know webtoon? Most likely they'll say yes. And they can probably tell you what their favorite titles are. So webtoon has become a huge success, and it is, I believe, over $1 billion industry in Korea. So it is doing really well.
And how easy is it to become a webtoon publisher?
To become a publisher, I think that anybody can start. I think the challenge is to actually get two things. One is enough number of subscribers, the readers, and on the other side, you need, of course, a good artist on your platform. So I think it's both. You need both, and I think you can start, but I think it's not easy to become a successful one with a big scale.
So you decided to set up a platform. What was that called? Kross Comics. So what was the
Kross Comics?
Yeah,
Kross Comics is for India only at this moment. My team and I were discussing what next. We went to India first 6 years ago to produce films. So we've been producing films in Mumbai, in Hyderabad, in Chennai, many cities throughout the country, mainly using Korean and Japanese stories. And we thought that because we believe in the power of storytelling, we continued wondering what else can we do in India. And we thought that bringing Korean, Japanese, and American digital comics, webtoons, could work. So we started the platform about a year and a half ago, so December 2019. And as far as I know, we are the first webtoon platform in India. And since then, we've grown to have over 2 million downloads, and we're expecting to reach 5 million by the end of the year. So we've been growing.
Fantastic. So this is a subsidiary of Kross Comics Inc. That means it's an American company, right?
It's technically a Korean company. It's called Kross Comics India, which is a subsidiary of Kross Comics Inc., which is a Korean company.
It's a Korean company. And
Yes.
then in August, you managed to raise about 40 crores for it from Kakao Page Corp, right?
Yes. Kakao is one of the largest companies in Korea. It's like Facebook of Korea. And they liked our story in India, so they invested a lot of money. So we are part of Kakao Group.
But you own majority still.
I own a chunk of the company still, but Kakao also does. So we're more of like partners.
Fantastic. So what's the idea now? I mean, you've been putting Korean webtoons on Kross Comics for now almost. It should be a year and a half or more than that.
Year and a half,
Oh.
and we have about 100 titles, mostly Korean titles, but we have some American titles. You see, webtoon has grown, to be a sizable industry in many different countries, including the US. So there are lots of American artists who are getting into webtoons. So we do have, I would say, over 10 titles that are written by American writers.
And these writers and the artists, the illustrators, the letterers, the colorists, most of the comics, are they you said 10 are from America. Now, are these guys who do work with DC, Marvel, or are they independent artists?
No, these are more like independent or individual artists who are who want to be different from the Marvels and DC Comics.
Okay.
So one of the biggest merits of working with a digital platform such as our platform is that an artist anywhere in the world can actually get on the platform and start writing. And that work does not have to be selected by the publisher. And as long as there are enough readers who appreciate the work, that work can be popular. So I think that's the beauty of being on a digital platform. And these American artists, I guess they see, the potential of working on a digital platform and drawing webtoons.
And are they managing to make some money out of it, or because
yeah,
it's a subscription platform,
yes,
right?
Yes, many artists are making lots of money in Korea. In fact, most of the professional webtoon artists are making a lot of money, figures that exceed the average salary of top college students when they graduate.
So how much would that be about?
Sorry?
How much would that be about in dollars?
Oh, some top artists make more than, I would say, a few crores a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a serious business. So what happens is that because there are these success stories of individual webtoon artists in terms of their popularity, but also their commercial success, many talented young students and individuals, they come into the industry to become webtoon artists. Okay. So this has become a legitimate profession, and there are many celebrities that have emerged as sort of stars in Korea.
Fantastic. I mean, can you name some of them so that we can recollect them, if you don't mind?
Yeah, there are names like Kangpul or Chosok. These are Korean names. And they're celebrities in Korea, and many of their works have been adapted into films and TV series. So they're just not only comic artists, but they become writers of these series and films as well. And their works have been popular outside of Korea. So they are very famous in countries like China, Japan, the US, Indonesia, and etc.
So is this part of the Korean wave, which has really worked well for the K culture?
I think so. Yeah, I think that there's a word. A lot of newspapers and magazines have started calling this K-Webtoon, wave. So K-pop, K-drama, K-Webtoon.
Fantastic. So you started by adapting Korean, Japanese. You made Teen, the Amitabh starrer. You've made a few other films taking Korean and Japanese subjects and remaking them in India. Do we see that happening, that you take some popular comics and you get them redone, keeping in India the Indian milieu and giving Indian artists an opportunity to kind of cross over to new audiences?
Yeah, I see that happening mid to long term, I think, personally.
No, for me, there are two different things. One is Indian original art and Indian original stories, and second is taking Korean content, adapting it in comics in India and making them in the local milieu culture. There are two different things I'm talking about. I'll come to the Indian art later.
Okay, so you want to talk
Korean product, adapting it in India and making it popular in India, and taking the Indian product, which is produced of the Korean product, and making it popular globally in whatever way you can.
Yes. So what I believe with my team, what we believe is that stories can work anywhere. So with that belief, we went to India to set up a team. It's been 6 years, and we've produced 4 films so far, and our 5th film is now being shot in Chennai. We recently finished shooting a film with Sonam Kapoor as a heroine. It's based on a Korean film called Blind. So we really strongly believe that stories, whether it's Indian, Korean, Japanese, American, as long as they're compelling, they can find audience anywhere, everywhere, in the form of TV series or 2-hour movies, whatever it is. So it really depends on what the story is about. So what we started doing is taking Korean and Japanese stories, mainly novels, comics, and old movies, taking them to India to produce them as Indian films and Indian TV series. And we're actually taking them back to Korea, China, Japan, and the US.
Fantastic. So there is scope for an Indian talented creator who's a comic book creator, who can reach out to the team in Mumbai and give you a speculative kind of a pitch for a product which could travel. Not everyone will be accepted, right?
Absolutely. We are always looking for good stories. It's a matter of finding the right format, whether it's a 2-hour film or 10-hour, 10-episode series, or a novel or comic, whatever they are. So my team based in Mumbai is very used to getting pitches from artists, storytellers in India. So yeah, we're very much open to it.
Okay, and then now that you've got an infusion of cash from Kakao Pay, what does it mean now for you? Does it mean you're going international, or are you going deeper into India in languages?
Oh, I think that we like India. We see so much possibilities in India. So we're going into India further. In fact, we're planning a launch of our second version of our app in August, which will be a very, very sophisticated app, and it'll be ready by August, and we'll bring in 30 some titles we call super titles that have been super hits everywhere in the world, and feature them on our super app. Okay. So we will do more marketing, and we will bring in more work from Korea and Japan and the US. But also I think we're starting in second half, we will want to look for artists and try to work with them, local artists, Indian artists, and feature them on our app next year.
Fantastic. That's great news. I've got Jazel, who's an independent anime and manga artist. And he's saying he loves the way you're speaking to us. He loves your ideas, loves your vision for the Indian market. So you've already got...
Thank you.
Yeah. So, are you also going in for motion comics, or are they just strip comics?
Strip comics in a very, very particular format that is going vertically.
Okay.
You scroll down.
One second, I've got somebody speaking. Sharmindula, can you please put yourself on mute?
And that the vertical scrolling down feature is the I guess that's the unique part of Webtoon. So that I think is very important. So yeah, I think we're very, very excited about doing more work in India.
Yeah, tell us a little. Why did you name the platform the way you named it? What is it called, and what is it called? It's called Kross Comics, or is it called? Are you going to name the new 2.0 version differently?
Oh, yeah. We're actually thinking about naming it differently. It may stay, so we're in the middle of the discussion. But we try to call it Kross Comics because we believe in this the idea of going cross culture, cross border. So the simple idea of bringing interesting stories from Korea and Japan and America to India. We just wanted to name ourselves Kross with a K.
Yeah, I get that. So now, supposing there's an artist out there, he's got an idea. What does he do?
So I think he can reach out to my team based in Mumbai and try to tell us what his or her story is about. A simple format, whether it's a couple of pages, in writing or the art itself, we would love to take a look and see, whether there's compatibility. The most important thing is how this art can be shown as a webtoon, as a digital comic. So I think most of the works that I've been seeing in the Indian comic industry are great art, yet short stories. So in webtoon, an average title would have 50 to 60 episodes. So, users or readers can get into it, and they look forward to reading the next episode every week, on a weekly basis. So I think that's the beauty of the webtoon experience. So I think that the person, if he or she is interested in working with us, I think the storytelling part would be as important as the art itself.
Fantastic. So I've got Hari Verma, who used to be the creative director at Toons Animation in Thiruvananthapuram, one of the largest animation studios in the country. He told me to ask you a question. It's on the question and answer in the chat. Where do we pitch stories and ideas to his Indian team? I know the office is in Bandra in Mumbai, and there's Chitra over there, and there's Siddharth in the company. And where do they pitch animated show ideas, which they could take to Korea?
That's a good question. I think that if it's not a webtoon project, then I think that if it is a webtoon project, Siddharth would be the right person. If it's something that's different from webtoon, then I think Chitra would be the right person. If it's anime, then I think it's a little bit different from what we're doing currently in India. We're mainly live action films and TV shows. That's what we're doing at Kross Pictures. And at Kross Comics, we're doing webtoons primarily. So I think anime, is just in between. So if it's a great story, then we would love to take a look. And I think that Siddharth would be the right person.
And for the animation, you said not too clear now, right now. Right now, you're not looking at that aspect.
No, I believe, anime seems to be very...
Not animated
different.
shows, which could be like a Chota Beam or Indian characters, classic mythology.
Okay, animated shows, okay. Yeah, I think for the time being, we want to really focus on webtoons. Okay,
so now, as far as the culture of Korea is concerned, are you going to take it extended further into the comics culture and Korean comic culture? Is it going to transgress into India? I call it transgression because we Indians love jugaad, as was said in the previous session. We love to get everything free. Some of us are paying, but a lot of us love to get it free. So have you managed to get that culture into India where they're paying for comics, a lot of it? 2 million downloads that you've had?
Yeah, there have been, there have been quite a few people who, who are open to paying for these episodes. But we try to give options. I would say all of our content you can read for free.
Okay.
It's just that if you want to read next episodes after 5 to 10 episodes that are free completely, you have to wait 12 hours or 24 hours for the next episode. But if you don't want to wait or you can't wait, then you pay. So it's we call it wait or pay model.
So how much do they pay if they want to read immediately?
I believe it's 3 to 5 rupees per episode.
Okay. And then are people really, how much of the percentage of the audience is paying?
Oh, I would have to look at the numbers, but yeah, there are quite a few.
Okay.
We were surprised.
Great, fantastic. So taking the culture, is there a lot of cosplay culture around Korean comics in Korea?
Cosplay is mainly, I think yes, it is big, it is huge. We also have Comic-Con Seoul every year, and you'll be surprised that there's a lot of people who are into cosplay.
We're talking about Korean characters.
Korean characters, mainly cosplay is done using Japanese characters. I think the culture just came from Japan, and many Japanese characters, I think, become the cosplay targets or objects.
So it would be the Transformers kind of things and all that they have in cosplay? Or what kind of characters would be coming? Digimon, what would it be?
It would be...
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No. All kinds. So I think the cosplay culture in Korea is very similar to that of Japan. So I don't know if you've been to Japan.
I've been to Japan. Akihabara is where I've been. But
exactly. Very similar. Yes.
So the figurines, and there's a great merchandising and licensing culture in Korea also, right?
Yes.
How big is that segment, if I may ask you, if you have any ideas?
I think that segment isn't as big as the webtoon market. Webtoon seems to be, I would say, 80-90% of the whole comics market in Korea. I would say it still belongs to a small portion of the fans. And so, you would have to be, a comic mania to actually, get into cosplay. But normal people, average people, they would just, read webtoons on their mobile phones.
Fantastic. Are you going to bring some of the culture of cosplay along with your comic books to India with the Japanese kind of a thing? Or that you let the market pick its course?
I think we're going to be very digital. We're going to be, 100% digital. So I think for the time being, we'll just focus on servicing the best possible webtoons online.
Fantastic. Any last words before we wrap it up? Because it's our time's up, actually. I'd love to hear from you and the artists and the other publishers. Are you open to co-publishing deals? Are you open to partnerships? Are you open to what are you open to?
Yes, we're very open to talking to and communicating with the artists in India, also other publishers, all kinds of participants in the market. We are new to India. It's our second year. We want to grow. We want to make sure that we grow with the participants in the market in India. So we're very open. And our upcoming launch in August, I think, will be interesting. So please, check us out and let us know if you have feedback or if you want to work with us.
Great. There's a question here. I think the Indian market for entertainment is very different from abroad. What do you think are good ways to monetize in your experience in India as an artist? That's a question which has come up from Soham Pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question was, sorry.
Yeah. The question is, I think the Indian market for entertainment is very different from abroad. Okay. What do you think are good ways to monetize in your experience in India as an artist?
Okay. Well, I think, yes, India is indeed different. But what I've been witnessing in different markets, in different countries, not only Korea, but Japan, China, Indonesia, Taiwan, Vietnam, I think that, there is a market for good content. It's a matter of first establishing your work. And I think then subsequently there will be business opportunities that you can create. So in India, we'll have to figure that out. But on our platform, there are a lot of people who are already paying for content. And it must mean that they really love it, right? Because there are other ways to consume these titles, mainly in the form of piracy. But, there are people who, choose to pay for their content. So I think that, to answer the question, it's the first things is to make sure that you have a great work and establish yourself, your name, brand. Then I think there will be opportunities business-wise.
Thank you very much, Thomas. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, and this time about comics. And I'll wish you all the best for August 2021. We're really looking forward to it. And hopefully India will be a much safer place to come to, as will the other countries. Travel will be permitted. Look forward to having you in India in August. And a big thank you from all of us. And have a safe and successful launch of your series. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.